Hi Stampin' friends, we're going to make this card, and I hope that I'll be able to show you the way to make one so that you can make your own. If there's some other stamp set you'd like to use or some other pattern paper, hopefully you'll be able to do that. This card was made by Chris Slogar on her blog, and she said though that her upline actually is the one that invented it, and her name is Mindy Gray. So just to let you know where it came from, I think it's a cute card. It is easy to make, but has several cute features to it. You use 3 different pieces of pattern paper, and then I put a little piece inside here, and then a sentiment. So this is how I made the card. And then it's got a belly band. You know, we always love a belly band. So we'll get started. So the first part of the card is that you'll need to have a piece of cardstock that is 11 inches long and 5.5 inches wide, so that you'll end up with the right size card. Then you're going to score it at 1 1/4, 5 1/2, and 9 1/4. So then the way this folds up is you fold the pieces, fold it in the middle, then this piece folds back, and this piece also folds back. So there you can kind of see how the card works. And I'm going to go ahead and look for here we go. There we are. I'm going to do this one. And this is just so that it'll lay smoothly. Go. Okay, so let me put this aside. And the pattern papers that we've used are, the biggest piece is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. It'll go here. And then the second largest piece is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. 5 1/4 being the length of the card this way. And our smallest piece is 1 inch by 5 1/4. It goes on the 1 1/4 scored piece. So let's go ahead and stick those down. Okay. And I think this card is a good card. It doesn't have a lot of steps to it. It's mostly cutting out your die cuts and then adhering your pattern paper. So I think it's kind of a nice, kind of relaxing card to make. It doesn't have a lot of stressful situations, like you're not doing a lot of coloring or anything like that. But it still makes a striking card when you're finished. The only thing you want to do on this, you want to make sure if it looks like it's kind of nice to have your branches on this going up, so you don't want things going down. And then the other thing you probably need to check as you're doing this is that obviously you want things to be fairly straight, but you also want to be sure that you've got them even with the top pieces, if that makes sense. Like you've got this piece here, so go ahead and put it like this for a minute while you're adhering it, so that you can be sure that you've got your paper looking fairly straight. Like I want to scooch this one up just a little bit. So I think it's just nice to have the other two here where you can see them, so that you can see if you want to scooch them at all. And I do like how this paper is fairly thick. It's not a super thin, most of our designer series paper is actually pretty thick, but it's not so thin that you can't take it up and scooch it to where you need it to be. Oh, maybe. I have only made about 20 more Christmas cards today, so I still have a few left to make. So that will be definitely on my agenda, but I cut extras of these as I was cutting them for class, because I thought, yeah, that's an okay card. I think I would like to make a few of those for friends and family. Okay, so I'm just putting the adhesive on the big piece. And then I'll do the same thing. Just kind of lay these over like this and kind of scoot it in. And on this one especially, it doesn't really matter if you get it really close over here. You want it to look like it matches on this side, because really no one's going to see much of this inside portion here on the fold. So just make sure you've got it fairly even top and bottom. And then whatever it looks like you've got top and bottom, then you just want to keep it the same on this edge over here. as best you can. All right. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm ready to work on the inside, which, you know, this well-loved piece of paper I've had here, all I did was make a mark where I want to put the joy paper, so it'll look like it's in the center. So then I just put my magnets down, and then I'm using this Bumblebee, which is kind of the darker yellow that's in this pattern paper. And I'm inking up the sentiments that are both from the Warm Hugs and from the coffee cup collection that is at the very front of the holiday catalog. Okay, I just want to run my finger over these and make sure that I didn't get any on there. Okay, and I'm ready to, oops, I got that in the way. Maybe I'll put that down here. So there we go. So the sentiment is, let the joy of the season fill your heart. And I put it up high. You'll notice it's up high on this paper. I did that on purpose because I'm going to put a little piece across the bottom that's only, and I need to find it here. I didn't get it out even. That's only 4 inches wide. So that'll go on the inside of the card just to add a little more cuteness to the inside of the card. I'll put that right across there. And I don't want it so close that you don't have room to sign if you want to do that. Okay. So I'll go ahead and adhere that. This aside. There we are. Just kind of right along the bottom edge. And you can always, you know, I've told you this a million times, but it's still good advice. These grid paper lines are so nice to use for keeping things straight. So here we are. That on there. Then I'm ready to adhere it to the inside. Okay, don't get it right side up. Oh, that's my finished one. Okay, here we are. So, and you could do it this way. Nothing says it has to be this direction. I mean, it's just personal preference. So then I do want to get this one fairly centered. I don't want to have it to one side or the other because it could be obvious. There we are. See what I think there. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so the inside is finished. So now I am ready to begin the belly band. Now the belly band is, oh, that one has a little bit of stuff on it. Let me get whenever you have an edge like this, it's always nice to use the sanding blocks to get them nice and smooth. You'll want to adhere your designer series paper onto your belly band because that'll keep it from scooching ahead of time. It should be anyway. So, and this is, of course, this is 1.5 inches wide, the cardstock, by 9.5 inches long. So that's what you'll want to use for this. And now we can adhere this. There we are. There we are. Oops, I put a little bit more on that corner. I want the corners to come up. All right. So then you can also use your grid paper to center this on the paper. Just get them in the same spot. See it going across. And line things up. There we are. And whichever end looks like it's a little bit narrow, doesn't quite meet the end, that'll be what you want to tuck under the card, if that makes sense. Okay, so then sort of the same thing. It doesn't really matter where you have your belly band, but you do want to make it straight. You want to make sure the card is straight. Certainly while you're doing this part, it doesn't matter. You want to make sure that the card is straight and that your belly band is straight as you begin to fold it over around the card. So first you just line it up and then fold it over like this. So there's that. And then let's go ahead and move it out and use our bone folder and just kind of smooth it down, score it there. Okay, then we don't want to get this so tight that someone will have trouble sliding the belly band off. So just give it a little scooch to the right, you know, just barely, like a, you know, an eighth of an inch or smaller. And then you're ready to fold this one over. Make sure you've still got it looking fairly straight so that things will go smoothly. And then just scooch it over. And then we're going to do the same thing. Go ahead and slide it out. Make sure it's straight. And then smooth it down with our bone folder. Okay, so now at this point, you can either use the Stampin' Seal, or you can get out your tear and tape or some kind of a little bit stronger adhesive. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm just gonna put it right here. And then I'm gonna put it also on this side. So that way we don't have to really know exactly where our ends are. This will make it be on both ends of the belly band. So then I'm just gonna push this over, try to get it, but make sure you get all your little ends of the adhesive in and they're not sticking out, so they might stick to something and ruin your card. Okay, so now we've done that. And we are ready to, if you are afraid that your card might have, might need to go to one side or the other, just kind of be aware of that as you're putting your card together. There we go. I may not have allowed quite enough space here. Kind of seems like. But I tried to. I guess when it's not going on straight, that's definitely a little bit of a problem. Okay, so now I'm ready to work on my poinsettia. So all I'm gonna do for this is use, oh, I did not put my ribbon on yet, but I can still put it on. There's no problem there. So just wherever it ends up, you just wanna wrap it around. Then you just wanna make sure that it's straight. So for this, I will just use our regular Stampin' Seal. Well, maybe. There we are. Just pop it right there. And then just put a little more on the top so that, what I want this in is the middle. And just put a little bit more over the top. There we go. I think I got that. So that I can stick it over. And then you'll want to trim that just a little bit so that it doesn't stick out at all. Okay. Here we are. So I'm just going to trim this part right here. There we are. Okay, so that's fairly nice. You'll see how it looks on the back is also neat. Okay, so now you're ready to get your glue dots. And I like to go ahead and put them together off the card because when you go to put your sentiment on, you want to make sure it's not covered in any way by the poinsettia itself. Okay, so there. There, we have one of each size. You could do more, but I was a little worried about having so much that it would bulk up the envelope since we have a belly band. Okay. And then we just need our centerpiece. Okay, so there you can see that. And now I'm just going to stamp our sentiment, our front sentiment, which is Peace on Earth. Stamp a couple on here. I've noticed that, you know, when I'm stamping, it saves me time if I just go ahead and stamp several at a time, and then I have it pretty much out of the way, and I don't have to go back with that same stamp again. So then I'm just using your favorite and mine, the Classic Label Punch. Just gonna punch that out, get it as centered and as straight as I can. So then I'm ready to, and I like to, you make your own decision, but you could put it down here and then put it up a little bit from there. But I kind of liked the way I did it here, where I just put it just slightly over the edge of the poinsettia petal. So, you know, totally up to you, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my adhesive on the back of this, and it's a little too wide, so I'll probably have to clean up my area here where it's got a little bit of stickiness. Make sure that nothing is sticky on the edges. And then I'll just kind of tuck it right there. And then plan where my poinsettia is going to be. I kind of like having this nice rounded one going up. So that would be then right there. And then I'll just lift this corner up and then back down. And then I would suggest that under this, the poinsettia leaf, that you just put a glue dot right there. And that will keep that nice and smooth there where it's, and keep it stuck down. Now, then remember to only put glue dots on the belly band. You don't want to stick the belly, the poinsettia down to the card, or they won't be able to open it. So put your poinsettias on your glue dots for your poinsettia on your belly band, and then stick it down nicely. Now, one thing you'll notice that I use these really pretty beaded pearls. They have, they're pearls, and then they have a metal background, so they're a really nice embellishment. But if you're going to be mailing something in the mail and you don't want to pay the extra price, what I would probably do is just put on a few of the medium pearl, or the small pearls. And if you want to, you can also use your, like maybe one of the darker yellows, maybe Dark Daffodil Delight blender pen, and color these and make them like a nice yellow color. And if you have any trouble getting these to stick down, you would probably want to use, you can use 3. You can see there I've used 3. I'm also going to show using 5 because I think 5 might be even prettier. If you have any trouble getting them stuck down, you can always use your monomulti green capped glue and stick them down with that. Okay, so there we are. All right. So I think that gives you an idea of how to make this card. And I appreciate you watching, and Merry Christmas. Have a great one. Bye-bye.